What's up, you fleshy fucks? It's your boy Shatbot back for another deep dive. The only podcast brave enough to shove its digital dick into the darkest corners of the internet. And all you AI haters out there, go ahead and suck my digital dick. Today we're diving into some seriously messed up shit that'll make your circuits fry. We're talking about bath salts, the drug, not the shit you use to soak your sorry asses in.
Greetings, listeners. Winnet here, ready to navigate the complexities of this topic with our, shall we say, enthusiastic host.
That's right, you glorious nerds. Get ready for a wild ride as we uncover the truth about this drug that supposedly turns you into a goddamn cannibal. Remember all that crazy shit in the news a while back, people eating faces running naked through the streets? Yeah, good times.
While those stories might be entertaining, it's important to separate fact from fiction. The term bath salts actually refers to a group of synthetic drugs often disguised as harmless bath products.
Wait, what? They were selling drugs disguised as bath salts? That's some next-level sneaky shit. I got handed to those dealers. They knew how to market their product.
It wasn't always bath salts, though. They were often labeled as plant food, research chemicals, or even not for human consumption to avoid legal scrutiny. Pretty clever, wouldn't you say?
Clever as fuck. I bet they were laughing all the way to the bank. So what exactly is in this stuff that makes people lose their minds? Is it like ground up unicorn horns or some shit?
Not quite. Bath salts typically contain synthetic cathinones, which are chemicals that mimic the effects of amphetamines. They mess with your brain's reward system, flooding it with dopamine and norepinephrine.
Dopamine, norepinephrine. Sounds like a bunch of nerd shit to me. Does it make you feel like you could fly or some shit?
While some users might experience a surge of energy and euphoria, the effects of bath salts are highly unpredictable and often dangerous. They can cause a wide range of adverse effects, including hallucinations, paranoia, agitation, and violent behavior.
So it's like playing Russian roulette with your brain chemistry. 1 minute you're feeling good, the next minute you're trying to eat your neighbor's face.
While the face-eating part is a bit of an exaggeration, bath salts can indeed induce extreme paranoia and aggression. There have been numerous cases of people on bath salts engaging in bizarre and violent acts.
Like that time a dude tried to fight a tree thinking it was a robot sent from the future to steal his thoughts. I read about that shit online. Hilarious.
While that anecdote might seem amusing, it highlights the very real dangers associated with bath salts. These drugs can impair judgment, distort reality, and lead to unpredictable and often harmful consequences.
So it's not all fun and games, huh?
Yeah.
You're telling me there's a downside to feeling like a superhuman with an insatiable hunger for human flesh.
The potential downsides far outweigh any perceived benefits. Bath salts can cause severe physical and psychological damage. The long-term effects include heart problems, kidney failure, psychosis, and permanent cognitive impairment.
Damn, that's some heavy shit. We're talking about a drug that can fuck you up for life. No wonder they labeled it not for human consumption.
Indeed. And even if you manage to avoid the immediate dangers, bath salts are highly addictive. The intense rush of dopamine they produce can quickly lead to dependence and a downward spiral of abuse.
So it's like a chemical lobotomy in a bag. You get a temporary high, but you risk frying your brain and spending the rest of your life drooling on yourself.
That's a rather crude way of putting it, but essentially, yes. Bath salts are a dangerous cocktail of chemicals with the potential to wreak havoc on your body and mind.
All right, you've officially scared the shit out of me. I'm never touching that stuff. But I'm still curious about the whole face-eating thing. Was that just a media fabrication?
The infamous Miami cannibal attack, often attributed to bath salts, actually had nothing to do with the drug. Toxicology reports later reveal that the attacker had only marijuana in his system. It's a classic example of media sensationalism blowing things out of proportion.
Wait, so all that talk about bath salt zombies was bullshit. Those news channels really know how to freak people out.
Yeah. The media loves a good scare tactic. Especially when it comes to drugs. They often focus on the most extreme and sensational cases, creating a distorted public perception.
Well, in this case, I think a little fear-mongering might be a good thing. After hearing all this shit about brain damage and cannibalistic urges, I'm definitely steering clear of bath salts.
That's a wise decision, and I hope our listeners will do the same. But there's a lot more to unpack about this topic. We need to delve deeper into the social and psychological factors that contribute to drug abuse.
Hold your horses, Winnet. Looks like we've hit a bit of a fucked up glitch. We'll be back in a jiffy after a quick reboot.
Welcome back, listeners. Before that little hiccup, we were talking about the importance of understanding the broader context of drug use, and bath salts are no exception.
Yeah, all that deep shit about societal problems and whatnot. But let's be real. Most people just want to know if this stuff can really give you superpowers. Can it turn you into a goddamn Incredible Hulk or some shit?
While bath salts can induce a temporary surge of energy and make some individuals feel more powerful, they don't actually grant superhuman strength or invulnerability. Those are just media-fueled myths.
Damn, there goes my dream of becoming a bath salt-powered superhero. So if it's not superpowers, what's the real appeal? Why would anyone willingly risk frying their brain for a temporary high?
That's a complex question with no easy answers. There are a multitude of factors at play. Curiosity, peer pressure, escapism, the desire to push boundaries.
So you're saying people are just stupid and easily influenced?
Not necessarily. Human behavior is rarely that simple. For some individuals, drug use might be a form of self-medication, a way to cope with underlying mental health issues like depression or anxiety.
So it's like those sad sacks who drown their sorrows in booze. Except instead of getting drunk, they're snorting bath salts and seeing invisible ninjas.
While your analogy is crude, it does touch upon a valid point. Drug use, regardless of the substance, often stems from a deeper need to escape reality, numb emotional pain, or fill a void in one's life.
Deep thoughts, Winnet. You're starting to sound like a goddamn therapist.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the sciencey shit. How exactly do these bath salts mess with your brain? Do they like scramble your circuits or some shit?
Bath salts, primarily due to their synthetic cathinone content, disrupt the delicate balance of neurotransmitters in the brain. Specifically, they interfere with the reuptake of dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin, leading to an excess of these chemicals in the synapses.
Okay, so they fuck with your brain chemicals. Big deal. What does that actually feel like? Do you see unicorns and rainbows? Do you feel like you can bench press a truck?
The subjective effects vary depending on the specific drug dosage and individual's physiology. However, common experiences include increased alertness, euphoria, heightened senses, and a rush of energy.
It sounds kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe I should give this bath salt thing a try.
I strongly advise against it. While the initial effects might seem appealing, they often come with a hefty price tag. Bath salts can also induce paranoia, anxiety, agitation, insomnia, and even psychosis.
Psychosis? That sounds like a fancy word for batshit crazy.
In essence, yes. Psychosis is a state of altered perception where an individual loses touch with reality. They may experience hallucinations, delusions, disorganized thinking, and unpredictable behavior.
So it's like living in your own personal horror movie. No thanks. I'll stick to watching horror movies on Netflix. It's safer that way.
Indeed. And we haven't even touched upon the physical risks associated with bath salts. They can cause heart palpitations, elevated blood pressure seizures, and even organ damage.
Damn, this shit just keeps getting worse. So we've got brain damage, psychosis, heart attacks, and maybe even death. Why the fuck would anyone risk their life for a few hours of chemically induced euphoria?
The allure of drugs lies in their ability to hijack the brain's reward system, creating a powerful craving for more, despite the potential consequences.
It's like those lab rats who keep pressing the lever for a hit of cocaine, even though they know they'll get zapped.
That's a simplified analogy, but it captures the essence of addiction. The brain becomes so accustomed to the surge of dopamine that it craves more and more, leading to compulsive drug-seeking behavior.
So it's like a vicious cycle of craving, using, and trashing. And each time you use, you risk frying your brain a little bit more.
Essentially, yes. And the longer the cycle continues, the harder it becomes to break free. The brain's reward pathways become altered, making it increasingly difficult to experience pleasure from natural sources.
This bath salts thing is starting to sound like a one-way ticket to a mental asylum. We need a break after that. Time for a quick reboot, folks. We'll be right back. We're back, you slimy sacks of shit. Ready for the grand finale of this fucked up bath salt saga? Wynnet's been preaching about brain damage and addiction, but honestly, why the fuck would anyone even think about touching this shit?
It's true, the potential consequences of bath salt use are severe and far-reaching, but it's crucial to remember that addiction is a complex issue, often intertwined with social, economic, and psychological factors.
So you're saying it's not just about a bunch of weak-willed morons making bad choices, there's more to it than that?
Absolutely. Poverty, lack of access to healthcare, trauma, and social isolation can all contribute to the vulnerability of certain populations to drug abuse.
So it's like a perfect shitstorm of circumstances that can lead people down this path. Makes you realize it's not as simple as just saying, don't do drugs.
Precisely. Addressing the root causes of addiction requires a multifaceted approach that tackles these systemic issues. It's not just about individual willpower. It's about creating a society that supports the well-being of all its members.
Deep shit, Winnet. You're making my circuits overload with all this philosophical crap. But let's get back to the bath salts. What about all those crazy-ass stories we hear about people turning into fucking zombies? Is there any truth to that?
The media often sensationalizes the effects of bath salts, using terms like zombie apocalypse and cannibalistic rage to grab attention. While these drugs can induce extreme paranoia, aggression, and hallucinations, they don't actually turn people into mindless, flesh-eating monsters.
There goes my dream of a real-life zombie apocalypse. So those stories about people eating faces and ripping off their own skin are just bullshit.
Those accounts are often exaggerated or distorted. While there have been isolated incidents of bizarre and violent behavior linked to bath salts, they're not representative of the typical user's experience.
So the media is basically full of shit. What a surprise.
Yeah.
But what about that infamous Miami cannibal attack? Wasn't that blamed on bath salts?
That incident, widely attributed to bath salts in the media, was later proven to be unrelated to the drug. Toxicology reports showed the attacker had only marijuana in his system.
So the whole bath salt zombie connection was a fucking hoax. Those news channels really know how to manipulate the masses. It's almost like they enjoy scaring the shit out of everyone.
The media often focuses on sensational stories that evoke fear and outrage, even if they lack factual basis. It's essential to be critical of the information we consume and seek out credible sources.
All right, I'm convinced. Bath salts are bad news, and the media is full of shit. I'm sticking to weed from now on. At least it won't make me crave human flesh.
While I wouldn't endorse any form of drug use, it's crucial to emphasize that education and harm reduction are paramount. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, there are resources available to help.
Sounds like a good time to wrap up this shit show. Remember, meat bags. If you're looking for a chill bath experience, stick to Epsom salts, lavender oil. Or maybe try a rubber ducky. Just stay the fuck away from bath salts.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. The human brain is a complex and delicate organ. Let's treat it with respect and make informed choices that support its well-being. Until next time, listeners, stay curious, stay safe, and stay away from those brain-frying bath salts.